Thank you so much, Provost Sembrunnen, and good morning, everyone. Let everybody join me, please, in another huge round of applause for the amazing class of 2025. And now let's give a little more love and appreciation for all the people who helped you reach this day. That includes proud families and friends from across the country and all around the world, whether they're here in person or virtually. Thank you. And to the faculty and staff for the years of support, dedication, and occasional, or maybe not so occasional, constructive critique, all that they've given to bring the graduates to this moment. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Now, there's another group I especially want to thank. If you're here with us, either as a graduate or in the audience, as a Wisconsin resident and taxpayer, please stand up for a second if you're able. Come on, there's a lot of you here. Thank you. We are proud to be a public university, and the taxpayers of the great state of Wisconsin have helped support us for 177 years. Thank you for your investment in this state and UW-Madison. Make some noise. Now, this date is also bittersweet for those of you who are missing people whose love and support helped bring you to this place, including our beloved Dean Emerit, Linda Scott of the School of Nursing, who passed away just last month. I also want to acknowledge the terrible shooting at Brown University just yesterday and in Australia. And so I do want us to take a moment just to recognize all of those whose lives we've lost too soon, even as we celebrate our graduates. Now, there are two groups of people here today for whom I would like to ask for special recognition. If you are graduating today and you're part of the first generation in your family to go to college or graduate school, please stand as you are able and let us all recognize you. Please stand up. We are so proud of you. Congratulations. Now, if you're a veteran or serving on active duty or in the reserves and here, whether you're in the audience with us or graduating today, all of you, if that fits you, if you've served our country in this way, please stand as you are able so we can thank you for your service. Thank you all. Now, graduates, you are entering into a world defined by uncertainty and change. We have lots of things happening. AI has come into the fore during your time here at UW-Madison. We're in a moment of some economic instability where there are political fractures, polarization, and the pace of change can be dizzying, sometimes even overwhelming. To be able to meet these kinds of challenges with confidence and curiosity, rather than fear and self-doubt, is an absolutely critical life skill. It's one that you'll need to keep working on, but it's also one for which I believe that we have prepared you. I don't have a plug-and-play formula to make coping with challenge and change any easier. But I will share with you this morning 2 stories from my own life about some of the things I have found helpful to navigating through disruption and change, and so I will briefly share them with you today. The first is about a connection to ideas, and the second is about a connection to people. Now, for me, one especially compelling idea I found came from a classic book that I first read as an undergraduate and then reread in graduate school, called The Structure of Scientific Revolutions by Thomas Kuhn. Maybe some of you even know it. For me, you know that mind-blown emoji? That's how this book hit me, maybe even more the second time I read it than the first. Kuhn was writing about science and about how our ideas about what's true and known about the natural world can change dramatically. He rejected the idea that scientific knowledge always progresses in a linear, orderly fashion. Instead, he thought we tended to have periods of what he called normal science, and then periods of sometimes uncomfortable disruption, what he called paradigm shifts, when a very different understanding could take hold. Like when the Ptolemaic idea that the Earth was at the center of all things got replaced by Copernicus's theory that the sun was actually the center of our solar system. Or when Einstein's theory of relativity came along. But there's a point here, I think, that goes well beyond science and scientific change. Kuhn wrote that the moment that we are forced to abandon our familiar models, the moment when the unpredictable and unexpected come crashing through and change everything we thought we know, can also be a moment when transformative change is possible. It's an invitation to start seeing something in an entirely new way. As he put it, and I quote, "It's as if you'd suddenly been transported to another planet where familiar objects are seen in a different light and are joined by unfamiliar ones as well." Maybe you've had that feeling at times when things seem unsettled and even chaotic. I think there's an insight here that goes way beyond the history of science. And it's one that I remind myself of, not infrequently, that in moments of challenge, change, and even disruption, there can also be tremendous opportunity. Your career plans may change. You may discover that the skills you thought would be not super necessary turn out to be absolutely essential. And the ones that you thought would be essential may turn out to be not super necessary. You may discover that moving away is no longer in the cards right now, or that a move is exactly what needs to happen for what you are doing next. The point is to hold your assumptions a little bit lightly and to pay attention to the opportunities that the unexpected can sweep in. And while you're doing this, keep your family and friends close. They're the signal through the noise. And this brings me to my second story about connection to people. I'm here to tell you, as you probably already know, your life probably won't unfold in exactly the ways that you expect it to. There will be wonderful surprises along the way, joys and opportunities that you can't even quite imagine. And there will also almost certainly be disappointments and difficult moments. The relationships and friendships that you've made in your time here can be an important source of continued meaning in the years ahead and a source of comfort in the face of challenge. I graduated from college a long time ago, quite a long time ago, more than 35 years ago. And candidly, as I stand here before you, I can barely remember my own commencement ceremony. But some of the people I got to know then, some of my college friends, remain incredibly important in my life all these decades later. Here's a picture of two of my very best friends and roommates in college. I met one of them, Maya, in the very first week of freshman year, and the other, Judith, about a year later. Our lives now have gone in very different directions. We live thousands of miles apart. And over the decades, the frequency of our contact has ebbed and flowed. There were times, years even, when our lives got so busy and disjointed that we were barely in touch with each other at all. But we also realized that our core connection is unbreakable and important. And now, we take a trip together every year, spending at least a long weekend, catching up on our lives, connecting with each other, having new experiences, and making new memories. And I know that if at any moment I really needed something, they would be absolutely and unquestioningly there for me, and I for them. Friends don't prevent the storm from rolling in, but they can help anchor us through it. They comfort us, they challenge our assumptions, they offer fresh perspectives. They listen patiently to our sometimes not fully baked ideas, maybe over big orders of deep-fried cheese curds, or maybe during quiet walks along the lakeshore path at dusk, or maybe decades in the future in places you've never yet been. Our student speaker, Jiva Premkumar, has a story to share along these lines in just a few minutes. Now, some of you made those friends here right off the bat, and some of you may also discover deeper friendships when life brings you back together with Badgers you met here but didn't get to know as well. So my advice to you is hold on to these connections, and when they might ebb and flow over time and distance, remember that rekindling them and deepening them as time passes will enrich your lives. I hope that during your time with us at UW-Madison, you too have found an idea or two that you'll return to again and again. Ideas that will help you move through a world whose roads are sometimes straight and true and sometimes zig and zag. I hope that you've learned to see and embrace the new worlds of possibility that can emerge when the unexpected comes along and shuffles the deck. And I hope that you hold on to your deep connections with the people that you have laughed with, cried with, learned with here at UW-Madison, who will be there for you in whatever comes next, who will help remind you that when life feels like you've been suddenly transported to another planet where things may not look quite the way that you expected them to, that though it's scary, it's also a gift. It's your invitation to create something wonderfully new. For some of you, the next step in your journey will take you far from Madison. Others are going to stay right here. But rest assured that no matter how far you travel, Madison will always welcome you home, and you will forever share an identity as Badgers. And so, class of 2025, congratulations and on Wisconsin. Thank you. Thank you.